of the holiday season. The Winston-Salem Symphony and Chorus is just one day away from its performance of Handel's Messiah.
Yes, so they will be performing inside the Waite Chapel at Wake Forest University this week. There are still some tickets available starting at just $10. And here to share more with us this morning is Winston-Salem Symphony's music director and friend of the program at this point, Michelle Merrill. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Jackie. Great to see you, Jackie and Dylan.
Yeah, so tell us, why is Handel's Messiah so popular, especially at Christmas?
You know, it's one of those things that it's actually only the first part of the piece that is about Christmas, and the rest goes into Easter and things like that. But it's kind of like the 1812 Overture by Tchaikovsky at July 4th with fireworks. It was a tradition that was started many years ago, and it's just caught on, and it just is that beautiful music and that powerful music and the text, of course, that just brings everybody together, helps them tap into something that maybe is beyond themselves. And I think it's just a great way to start the holiday season.
It really is. You start to think about performances like this time of year and those chilly evenings. Michelle, we know Winston-Salem Symphony and Chorus, of course, very talented. Tell us what makes the symphony's performance of Messiah stand apart from others.
Well, you know, what I would tell people is sometimes people will put this piece on recording. They'll listen to it in their car, they'll listen to it in their homes, but hearing the live music with our Winston-Salem Symphony and Chorus is really a different experience, because then you're in Waite Chapel, you're hearing the vibrations, the waves of sound coming over you. And this is something that has been a tradition in Winston-Salem for many, many years now. It's something that is familiar to the orchestra and the chorus, even though it's different every single time. Every single time there's a performance, there's always a new gem that kind of gets unlocked. There might be something you've never heard before in the music that will be brought to life when you get to hear it right there in the audience with everyone else having this great shared experience.
That's the beautiful thing about the human element to it, is it's never the same twice for those kinds of live performances. So there is something special there. And of course, you mentioned the chorus that you're working with for this performance. Who are the soloists this year? What is that relationship like?
So the soloist, I believe only one. I've never worked with any of them before, so I'm really excited because we've got some great soloists this year. I believe our soprano, Mrs. Steli Gomez, has been with the symphony once before, so I know everyone's looking forward to welcoming her back. But it's really, we've got some world-class soloists coming in. One is from South Africa originally, and we were really excited, our tenor, to bring him in. One is a Filipino who was kind of, we weren't sure we were going to get on his schedule, but he was able to make it work in between other gigs. And our Sylvia Leith, I believe, is from the area. I think actually she's worked with the orchestra before as well, but like I said, it's only my second season, so I'm really excited to get to work with these soloists that have done Messiah inside and out. It's a thing that they've done over and over, but again, it's so different. It's not like going to see the Mona Lisa and she stays the same and you might change. You're getting to hear the Messiah where every single performance is different, and you've changed as you've come to it. So I'm really excited to have these soloists welcome into Winston-Salem and share their beautiful talents with all of you.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible, especially in the chapel too. What a great place to hear all this music. We know Handel's Messiah is just a beautiful piece. Michelle, expand on that a little bit. Tell us, is it true that Handel wrote Messiah in only 3 weeks?
Yes. So he was very fast. Mozart is known to be very fast too, but Handel, there's actually 4 choruses in the piece that he kind of stole, or I should say borrowed, from an earlier work he had done but only 7 weeks prior. But still, the piece itself, we're doing a cut version. Our cut version is still about 2 hours long. The full version is about 3.5 hours of music. And the fact that he could write that in such a fast amount of time, almost like the music was just pouring out of him. And being a sacred oratorio, you almost think, like, was there some sort of divine intervention there that helped all of this music come out so fast?
Wow.
That's
what a
crazy.
magical background. I'm glad that we know that about that, especially for those who are going to see a performance. I think it gives you a new appreciation.
Yeah, very fitting, I would say. Perfect for this time of year.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michelle, for your time. Good luck with the performance. Again, everyone, the Winston-Salem Symphony will be performing Handel's Messiah tomorrow night at Waite Chapel on the campus of Wake Forest University. Tickets start at just $10, and you can find more information on the Symphony's website.